Hello everyone, I'm Ellie Richburg and I'm going to be discussing about my research thus far in my ISM journey. So just a little bit about me. I'm a senior this year. I'm on the STARS dance team. I am also a part of the NHS, and this coming fall I'll be attending Baylor University. I am a first year ISM student and I am studying fashion merchandising this year. And with my quote, I'm here is there's too much to learn and too much to experience to give up opportunities that could potentially change my life. And so this basically applies to me, as in I was never really sure what I wanted to do. And so I really wanted to explore different things, and fashion merchandising is what spoke to me, since my love for fashion and art and the arts kind of drew me into this field. And what I've learned this far is that I'm not just studying one particular thing in fashion merchandising. I'm kind of studying a whole umbrella of different parts of the merchandising industry. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my interviews, and I just picked a couple of ones that kind of really defined my journey. One of my first interviews was with Rory Boyd, and she is an owner of Sussy's Boutique right down near Hunt Middle School. And she owns her own boutique, and she treats every customer with absolute care. When I was there interviewing her, she was a very nice, polite woman, and very to the point, but she's very honest, and I like that a lot about her. She goes around and knows everything about her own clothing. She knows everything about her customers and what they want, and I love that about her. She kind of knows what she wants and knows how to run her own business. She told me she had a business degree and suggested that anyone in the fashion industry needs one. Because originally what I wanted to do was major in fashion merchandising, but she kind of changed my mind, telling me that the fashion industry is very up and down and all over the place. And so to be have something to fall back on, a business degree was the best choice, because you never know what's going to happen in years to come. And then my next one was with Catherine Flagg, and she is a PR manager for Neiman Marcus. What I liked about her is that she does various charity works under the Neiman Marcus name, and so she'll go out and sponsor charity events. She'll actually sponsor women who have worked in the community and really had an impact in the Plano, Frisco area, and she'll give them mommy makeovers and kind of let them let them enjoy their time and kind of feel luxurious for a moment, just to honor their hard work. And she also told me about in the entire retail work, it's not a 9-to-5 job. Sometimes she'll be at the store, at the mall, at 7 o'clock in the morning and doesn't leave till maybe 11 after closing. It's very all over the place, and you never know what you're going to do. No day is the same. And so one of my final interviews, and this is who my mentor came to be, was Miss Charmaine Snyder. She's a retail coordinator, and what I liked about her is that she started from the bottom and worked her way up. She started as a retailer in Nordstrom's, and then worked her way up through the company and became a buyer and kind of experienced every aspect of the industry. And she has many connections too, which I loved about her. She knew everything about the industry, and she has so many connections, and so she can tell me all I needed to know and more. And so overall, through my interview experience, the common advice given was that retail work is almost every day, and no day is ever the same, and you're always on your toes. And it requires a lot of people skills, because you're dealing with people on a daily basis in the store, outside of the store. You're networking a lot, and then you must have an eye for detail. And you have to have an eye for detail because you're setting up displays. You're trying to figure out what your customer wants and who your customer is, so you have to know everything about that. And so going on, I've conducted a lot of research and kind of in this umbrella of what merchandising is. And so one of my first research was what a personal stylist is. And I chose this research because I never got a chance to interview a personal stylist. And what I've learned is that they're a kind of person who goes in and helps people who want to change up their wardrobe, kind of help them, guide them into a direction that they want to change up their style to. And so they'll come in and evaluate a person and then ask them what they want to, like what their idea is to dress like and what they want to look like, and they'll go in and kind of buy clothes for them and kind of evaluate what kind of new fashion they want, their customer wants. And the next thing I researched in the industry was what a fashion director is. And when I was interviewing the PRs at Neiman Marcus, they referred to their fashion director constantly, so I wanted to know what they were talking about. And so what a fashion director is like in a major retail company like Nordstrom, Saks, Neiman Marcus, they have a fashion director. And basically what they do is that they decide what they're going to put in their stores. They go to Fashion Week and they go to all kinds of events to evaluate what the next trends are going to be and what they want their stores to produce. And then the next one I researched was more kind of into the industry and more like the kind of development parts, which I looked at the product development while I was at UNT. And what I've learned from that is it's basically all the work from the bottom up. It's picking out what kind of dyes you want for your product, how you're going to make it, where you're going to send it to make it, and how much all of that is going to cost to ship it out, to ship it back in, and to put it on the shelves. And all of that, the product development kind of leads to your tag price. It could cost you about $10 to get the product dyed and maybe $20 to ship it from place to place. But your markup on that tag price could be maybe $50, $60 onto that one piece of item, just because you want to get a profit out of how much you're spending making the product. And so I like to learn about that, and I hope to learn a little bit more as well. And then another thing that I researched to help me more so with my original work was trend boards and visual displays. And what a trend board is basically it is an analysis of what the future trend is going to be. It's more used in smaller companies, like a vendor company like, say, the name brand jeans, or like in the name brand clothing lines and things like that. What they do is evaluate colors, patterns, textures, and whatever else, and they put it onto a board and kind of say, this is the direction we're going to as a company. And I also researched visual displays, and more so because I was interested in putting up stores and seeing how they made, like what made them decide how to arrange their stores and make it look like a certain way. And so visual displays, I've learned, is really key to selling your products. The way it looks on a display is how the customer evaluates if they like it or not. So you have to understand how certain shirts hang, how they look like on hangers and on mannequins, in order to really sell that product to your customer. Because if it doesn't look good while it's hanging on a display or on a shelf, they're not going to want to buy it. So that's very key to this industry. And so for my original work, like I said, I was doing a trend board. And these are just some pictures that I got off the internet to kind of help you guys look at it and see what it's about. And basically what you do with a trend board is you have an idea. And with this one, it's a hologram and iridescent light material. And so this is more of a spring line. And what it is like they have bubbles, and then in the background they have glitter and all kinds of like light kind of reflecting colors. And what they did is picked materials that kind of like exemplify that and how it would look in clothing. And so that's what they kind of take. They take an idea and put it onto a piece of clothing and make it a trend. And then they did the same thing here with graphics. And as you can see, they took pictures of like boxes in the background and kind of used that as their inspiration. And over here, the patterns and fabrics of floral and things like that. And this one right here is a physical. You can't tell, but it is a physical design because it has the patterns there, and that's one where you can feel the material and decide this is what it's going to look like or feel like when you wear it and things like that. It helps. And so this is part of the process, and this is like a snippet from one of the fashion weeks in Italy. And I made my trend board before the women's fashion week came out across the world, and I just kind of want to say that it was pretty spot on, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. Play. And then so basically my ideas for what was going to be the next trend was dark colors, like more earth tone, like browns, reds, and greens, and fur. And so it's very earthy and more fall and kind of into it. I don't think. And then more so, this design that's coming up front here, the blue, like the denim blue, and then the red and brown. That was kind of like my concept for the rest of the for the trim board, is because it's very earth toned and it's very calm. Because in the last season, I don't know if you recognize, but it was more about the black and whites and kind of pops of color. It's very neutral toned, and like this collection was supposed to bring out more of the earth tones and fall colors of what it's supposed to be. I think I'll let one more go so you can see. Okay. Stop it. Yeah. And so this was the start of my own trend board, and basically what I did is I had about 10 to 12 stacks of, or not stacks, but I had 10 to 12 magazines, and I stacked them up. And basically I flipped through every page, and anything that looked similar to what I wanted, I tore it out, and then I cut it up and kind of threw it onto this board. And so basically this is the starting process of, is what I like to explain to myself, is like, this is what I want generally, and this is how it was, like the whole starting process of like, those are my browns and there's my fur and those are my blues over there. And so it kind of spurred off of there. And I had my first mentor visit. My mentor, she works for 7 for All Mankind, and so she was telling me about the denim companies, how their fall winter lines are going to be for this year, is that it's going to be lots of blues, and it's going back to the true blue denim and things like that. So I wanted to incorporate that to my own, so I was trying to find a lot of denims and blues and kind of accentuate that. And so throughout the process I would put things onto the board, and then if it was too cluttered, I felt like I would wipe it all away and then restart again to where it was more clean and everything else like that. So it was a constant process of putting things on the board and taking them off again. It was going back and forth, back and forth. And then the next thing I worked on was a planogram, and this kind of incorporates my research in visual design, or visual merchandising kind of thing. And I also learned about this while I was taking a tour at Baylor University. They told me about planograms, and basically what these do is that they're a general kind of layout for what a display should be at any store from any retail. Like you see Gap up there. So like that is the general display they want to see in every store. And of course you can't always apply that due to like store sizes vary, and they can't always put all the pieces of inventory that they see on there due to their customers. Like what their customer likes, they tend to like vary. But what I've learned is that these are just general ideas, and they show you how to display certain items, and this is the way it should be folded, or how they want to color coordinate it, and this is just a general, is how they're going to put things up and show it to the store. And so they kind of have that layout of to where
it shows how it's still all 2D kind of work. They also try to simulate like these are going to be multiple pairs of jeans on the floor, or multiple shirts, stacked shirts. And so I recreated. Oh, I still did the other way, but I recreated my own for the jean brand that my mentor is working for. And basically, what I created was back shelving and table shelving, because what I've learned from my mentor is that the key is to have wall space and table space, and those are ideal for jean companies, because when you see it on a wall, you can see it fully displayed and how it looks like, but you can also see it on a table when it's laid out. You can see what the jean looks like and how long it is, or what the style is on the bottoms and around the pockets and things like that. So it's ideal to have those two spots, because it effectively shows the customer what their product is about. And so I tried to incorporate that in my own planogram. And so I wanted to tell you guys, it looks like I didn't say, but I wanted to tell you some about my mentor experiences. And so recently this week I actually went over to into the Galleria Mall, and we went through Belk, which is a it's another retail store. It's about Southern women and things like that, which is a little bit displaced for what our company is about. Our company is based in California, and it's more about the relaxed, kind of free-going woman, while Belk is more about the Southern woman, which they're more into like the blingy jeans like Miss Me's and things like that, which was seen all throughout the denim department, which was funny to us. But we went in there, and the first thing I saw was everything was marked on clearance, and that isn't really too good for our company, because everything you see in front of our displays is just sales racks. So nobody's going to go through the everyone's going to concentrate themselves on the sales racks. Personally, I would too, because it's cheaper and you want to get the best deal. But through the back wall is where we are displayed, as you can see, and it's blocked by all the other sales racks. So nobody's going to want to make their way all the way back to see the jeans when they can get it for 70% off or 30% off, things like that. And right here, what you're looking at is one of our table designs. But this has been up since December, so these are already out of style jeans, and we had to go in and completely remove everything from that table, put it on the sales racks, and restock it with jeans that are this season. And so that's what I spent most of my time doing this past, I think, Wednesday. So that was an experience. We had to take off all the jeans down there, redo the mannequins, and it was quite a lot of work. And when I walked in, I actually walked in before my mentor, and she told me to look through the jeans and see. And as you can see there's two different kinds of jeans on the same rack. And this happened throughout our display. And so what you see there is a high-waisted ankle skinny, and then a Kimmy crop. And those are two different jeans, because one has it's more of a tighter jean and it goes to the ankle, while the other one is more of like a capri that has more of a straight leg, almost skinny fit. And so going throughout the store, it was a lot like that. And then basically what I had to do is we had to go through the hangers, take off jeans that were supposed to be on sale, and put it in the sales rack, and redo it to where we had the number order from smallest to largest through the back. We had to take off jeans from the hangers and fold them up, take some from the folded areas and hang them up. And when we walked in there, we had a large wall display, which is great most of the time, but since we don't have that much inventory in the store, we decided to take half the wall space. So basically we had to move all of the products into one half of the shelving and redo mannequins that were in the back as well, because they had out of style jeans on display again. So we had to go through all that work. I had to rearrange all the things on the racks. We had to price tag a lot of jeans to make sure that these weren't their 30% offs, or if they were the full price, because you couldn't tell. And so we had to go in and make sure. And it was just a lot of hard work that I actually did not get to finish, and my mentor sent me pictures I left around maybe, I think, 11:40
that day, she didn't send me the final product pictures until 3:40. And so she was there all day, and I wish I could have stayed and helped, but I did manage to, as you can see down there, I managed to help just move things through the wall. But she set up the whole, the other table for the sales as more of a nicer denim-based table that was more up to date, and we had to work through all of that, which I wish I could have stayed there to help, but she said I did a great job, which was great for me. And so I don't know if anything else, let me see, got put together. I didn't. But I wanted to thank you all for listening. So this is just so far in my ISM experience. There's a lot I need to learn and still have to work on. I'm really hoping to expand my knowledge in in fashion merchandising. I hope to know more about the industry, which my mentor is doing a great job of doing so far. That we have gone through, we're halfway through our process of developing the jeans. She's shown me through the thinking and creating process of the denim line they're putting out. And so so far we're putting in inventory, we're getting it set up to be launched, and so hopefully by the time we get to the final day, that I'll be able to show you the full process of start from the idea creations to putting it on the shelves and putting it on people. So thank you all for listening.